football IQ, as some coaches are not the brightest bulb in the drawer. Where do you want to start, John Adams? I'm sorry, Caleb Calhoun.
All right, let's go to number 5 on this, and it's our old buddy Hugh Freeze. And Auburn has a 21-10 lead. They have it 1st and 10 at the Oklahoma 33-yard line. It is 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're running it well. Don't put the ball in the air, given all the interceptions you've thrown this year. Just run it 3 times and then punt it. Because Oklahoma's offense was so bad, they're not going to score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But Hugh Freeze decides, let me throw it twice, 2 incompletions. Then he tries a 50-yard field goal, misses. Oklahoma goes down and scores, and then that results in the pick 6. So Hugh Freeze is the first fail.
All right. I didn't have as much a problem with that one, John. You?
Yeah, I have a problem with Hugh Freeze in general right now. Well, if you notice that on the sidelines, it seems like Hugh Freeze's face is as red as Butch Jones's was, and I don't remember it. I don't remember it being that way. And if he goes to purple like Butch was capable of doing, I think that will be the final straw for Auburn.
All right, Caleb, who's next? I think we've got some worse coaching decisions than that.
Oh, we got some good ones coming up. This was college football's in full swing because it was a great weekend of mismanaged clock. One was a PJ Fleck at Minnesota. Guys, Minnesota, everybody's talking about that failed onside kick that the Big Ten is now changing the rules on at the end. But the only reason Minnesota didn't get the ball back there is because in the third quarter, PJ Fleck burned a timeout, not to challenge a play, but because it wanted more time to argue with the refs over the fact that it should be 2nd and 9 and not 2nd and 12.
You suck.
Yeah. Just take him out and beat him. I mean, just yeah. What? And see, I hate to stay on this Butch Jones thing, but I can't help it. I mean, PJ from the get-go has reminded me of Butch Jones.
He is.
He's a little more polished.
Obviously, got the tie.
Better haircut.
Yeah,
but who doesn't?
He doesn't have hair, does he?
No, he doesn't. But that's Dave's point, I think. He was, he's just he's very active on the sidelines. And he likes doing that so much. That's probably why he called the timeout, so he can be more active and chew out an official.
Which cost them at the end, because they would have gotten the ball back with about 50 seconds to go and a field goal to tie had he not done that.
How long has he been in Minnesota now? It seems like he's like 7 years or something.
Some of those dudes like in that area, like Kirk Ferentz, signed like seemingly lifetime contracts.
Yeah,
I know. If you notice with so many of those Big Ten schools, it's like coaches come and go. The team is always the same.
I know.
Its strengths are the same, and its weaknesses are the same.
Yep. Last look. All right. More coaching IQ brought to you by Campbell Cunningham Taylor and Hunt.
To visit cctis.com. The information you need is easy to access, and setting an appointment is as simple as clicking the tab. Doctors Campbell Cunningham Taylor and Hahn and Eye Care Optical at cctis.com. Simply the best.
All right, who's next? Caleb on Football IQ. Hit like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate that. Make sure to ring that bell so the notifications are on. Caleb?
I think John knows where I'm going with this one because I'm sure he saw the game, but Sam Pittman and the brilliant third quarter decision to it's 4th down and he doesn't know whether or not he wants to kick a field goal or go for it. So both personnel come out. So he has to take a timeout, and coming out of the timeout, he calls a fake field goal that didn't get it.
That's crazy.
that you talk about, you notice how really bad coaches have a tendency to overthink things. And I think because by doing that, they think they're being smarter. I'm not going to do the obvious thing here. I'm going to think of something else to do. Yeah, well, that's why you're a bad coach. But they don't think that. So, yeah, how many fake field goals do you see anymore? I mean, isn't that about extinct? It's just a hard play to pull off. I know Les Miles did it, and we won't go into Les Miles, but I just think about it. How many fake field goals to me are hard to pull off? And I was shocked when Arkansas did that.
Hey, real
Yeah,
quick,
well-
I see real quick, if you don't care, I see SC Scout guy who just got his power back after the hurricane. I want to take a quick moment, and we're having fun here, but our prayers and thoughts are to everybody that's been affected by that terrible, terrible storm. So glad you're back with us, and all those that have been without power or that have suffered incredible losses. You're in our thoughts and prayers, certainly. All right, Caleb. I'm
more.
I want to get to that, but first, guys, who would be the worst coach in the SEC right now? Because it's not Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's coach usually holds that designation.
That's
But
why
he wouldn't hoof her.
Vanderbilt. Oh, I think it's you got to go with Billy Napier, don't you?
Okay, but see, here's the problem. I would actually go with Sam Pittman because I think he's so likable. He's hard to fire.
David, I don't think he's as hard to fire as you make him out to be.
Well, why is he still there?
I mean, he'd have to start if he starts giving money to fans. Maybe they'll want to keep him around. But I just think personality. I don't see him as a charismatic personality. He's likable, I guess. Yeah. But I don't think Billy Napier's unlikable.
Bro. No, it's because he never forgets your birthday. Because he's detail oriented. Who is the worst coach in the SEC? Billy Napier, Sam Pittman. I'm putting that on the poll. Anybody else should be up there?
I got to think about that, but well, Hugh Freeze right now is on there, and Shane Beamer.
Okay, all right. I like those. I still think my first two options are the best.
Okay, so guys, this is some great clock mismanagement you guys are going to see for the end of this. But number 2 is I don't know if you watched that Virginia Tech Miami game Friday night. Everybody's freaked out about the Hail Mary. But Brent Pry's genius at Virginia Tech in the first half was on display. Virginia Tech was going to try a field goal at the end of the half, and they did. But Brent Pry decided to burn the timeout with 25 seconds left when he could have run it all the way down to 1 second and kick the field goal. But he decided to burn the timeout at 25 seconds and give Miami a chance to get back and get a field goal on their own. Not only did they do that, but they got a little more help from Brent Pry, who decided to squib kick it after making the field goal, which set Miami up for a field goal at the end of the half. If he just runs the clock down to 1 second and kicks the field goal, Miami doesn't get a chance.
Did you see an explanation for that other than I'm not very bright?
I don't think he knew if he wanted to try the field goal or not, so he wanted a timeout to think about it.
You suck.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
And then my favorite, and this is a guy Tennessee almost hired. Did y'all see Jeff Brom's clock mismanagement on that final drive with Louisville against Notre Dame over the weekend? Louisville had the ball down 31-24 at midfield. It was 1st and 10. It was 3 minutes left. They ran 3 plays, and Jeff Brom ran the clock down to 59 seconds. And including pulling up getting a delay of game on 4th and 1 because he ran the play clock all the way down all 40 seconds off the play clock on a 4th and 1, which brought up a 4th and 6 when Louisville needed a touchdown to win with 3 minutes to go.
And he's supposed to be an offensive guru.
Yes.
The problem is he's not detail oriented. Portions of the program
I don't know how likable he is.
I'll tell you what, if you had to hug an SEC coach, wouldn't it be Sam Pittman, though? Portions of the program brought to you by Heating and Air Conditioning, 50 years in East Tennessee. Integrity matters. Don't trust a fly-by-night HVAC company to tell you that you need a new unit that could cost thousands or more. CityHeatandAir.com. CityHeatandAir.com. John Adams brought to you by Newbert Collision Center. They're fantastic people. For over 50 years, Newbert Collision Center has been East Tennessee's best choice for quality repair work and fantastic customer service. Joe Newbert Collision right down below. John, anything you would like to add as the Vols head towards Arkansas, such as perhaps a game prediction, since we won't visit with you until then?
Well, you were throwing out a lot of names and titles for Josh Heupel. I call him Coach Over.
Coach Over.
Coach Over, because he's always over the spread.
He has. That's a good point.
Yeah. And so let's get back to my closing thought. Let's get back to Billy Napier. If he's so detail-oriented, why does his hair look the way it does?
I don't know. And
Has he
With
taught?
that kind of hair, shouldn't you have a long beard too?
I will. Yes, I think that I've made some decent predictions, but I will say none is better than Billy Napier was an absolute goofball the moment he was hired. And I think that people were excited in Gainesville at the time, but I think that's proven to be true. John, would you like to speak to my prediction prowess in general?
Yeah, I don't think of you as a great predictor, but I mean, maybe you're getting better at it. You were talking about earlier about what was going on with you when you were 18. Maybe you've gotten better. So that's good. Great prediction, Dave. Great.
Has Billy Napier taught shower discipline yet, though? Remember when Derek Dooley had to teach that?
Yes. I missed.
You know what?
I was at that Dooley one, and I have to be honest with you, John. And I was an employee of yours at the time. I spaced out as to how absurd that was, because I'm sitting there, and I know we're keeping you long, and I'm sorry, but I remember that moment like it was yesterday, and I'm thinking, I don't even know how to write this, and I really just kind of was going to cast it aside as this isn't even news, but I think Austin ended up writing it. But there were times, I admit, I spaced out during Derek Dooley talking.
Yeah, I really think if Butch probably would have had shower discipline too, but he just mentally he couldn't come up with that. I mean, I can imagine Butch just sitting around and thinking, what kind of weird idea I could come up with. There's something that nobody talks about. Okay, you got to sleep right. You got to get your sleep down. Yeah, he came up with that, but he copies everything, and other coaches have done that. But yeah, and I wonder if Billy Napier instruct his players in hair care. Here's how you should wear your hair, guys.
Yes, Caleb.
I mean, Butch did say one time that you can even have a mental rep if you don't take an actual rep. So maybe he taught his players how to take a mental shower.